Hello, everybody. It's Eric here with daytrading.com. Today is Tuesday, March 20th, of course, 2018, approaching about 1 p.m. Eastern Standard, or AKA New York City time, over here on the East Coast. So I just wanted to do a quick video update. I actually did this on purpose to do this on Tuesday to give a little bit more market data while these markets are in a little bit more of a range via the higher time frame. But I wanted to just give a quick update on Euro USD and USD JPY. Again, two of the currency pairs that I day trade in the room at daytrading.com. You can visit that website for more information. But let me just pop out real this lows. I'm going to pop out to the monthly, but you can see real quick, nothing major has changed since the last video. So I'm going to try to make this pretty quick and precise. But of course, we're going to be getting closer to 1 week closer to the monthly close. So I'm just going to pop over to the monthly because these weekly rejection wicks that we're getting are actually forming, of course, they have to, by multiple time frame analysis, are forming a rejection wick on the monthly as well. So basically, I have my members looking out for the 1.219394 area, which is going to be the opening price for March. And when I get down to the daily, you'll see that as well. There was a daily reversal bar. This was 1 day and a wick at the kind of end of February, beginning of March that swiped down, and then it's just been a complete fade, or AKA the opposite direction of the close, pretty much for the whole month. All right, and so this is going to be a major price point here for me, and what I'm looking at, because it's going to be a deciding factor. We can either do a couple things, either close in the middle here, fill some space up here, or of course, if this is going to remain rejection on the weekly and monthly, of course, we can finally get our push potentially down to the 1.21 evens and lower. Okay, not going to go too much far deeper from that. All right, as there'll be another weekly video that we'll have more market data to put the pieces together. All right, so while that's loading, today basically was an easy short. While that's loading there, might as well speak about what I've been doing intraday. It was pretty much an easy short. I started getting short around the 123.13, call it, area, and just continued to get what I could on, selling dips and buying to cover the rallies. And then all the way down here, I started to flip long at the 1.2260s and 12250s, and started to scalp out some longs down here. This is kind of crazy how this is not loading right now. Okay, there we go. So here's the weekly bar in the Euro USD. So I was shorting here intraday, but as you can see from last video, we closed as a weekly doji here for the second time. So far, we are breaking below via the daily and the weekly these kind of quote-unquote tweezer top pin bars, however you want to call it. It's weekly rejection pin bar reversals. I obviously have the open space lower. I have a couple of weekly levels that I'm just looking at, just as temporarily bounces or just targets. But again, there goes that 121.93. Call it 121.94 monthly opening. So again, if we start to break lower here, this is all going to be a rejection wick on the monthly. Okay, so even if we go to the upside, because if we're really looking at the higher time frame scaled out, of course we're in an uptrend on the Euro USD. Okay, since 2017, pretty much the whole year we have higher high, higher low scenarios, etc. And this is just kind of a very sideways kind of base in the context of all that. All right, so we could still break out to the upside. That we probably have a lot of work to do that. We'd have to break a couple of series of all these weekly highs, and of course we'd have to fill these the wicks to the upside. So again, I know it looks easy for an easy short, but just be careful knowing that I can drop down to the daily to give you a little bit more information about that, because I kind of drew something out earlier this morning. This will be it on the Euro. Okay, so here's a chart that I just kind of broke down. This is the third month, okay, of course, so we're ending the first quarter, and as you can see, January was the last, like I said in the last video, was the last kind of bigger move that we've seen in the Euro. So this is Jan, Feb, March, okay. As you can see, I have a potential lower high being formed here on the daily, so we do have within this range overall on the weekly, okay, and again, you can go to the weekly bar to see my extremes, okay. We do have a lower low and a lower high scenario here on the daily, represented by the kind of this downward channel here on the daily time frame. And so far today, being Tuesday, this is what kind of prompted this. Finally, we're trying to get some movement out of here. I'm still going to be looking short to at least get down to cover this potential monthly low in March, 21.94. Okay, we can break lower. There goes our monthly break at the 21 evens. All right, there's my next orange, or AKA monthly levels that I'm looking at. And again, this is all going to be below weekly rejection wicks. Okay, and as you can see, Tuesday, Wednesday, this was last week's high, making that lower high. If we do go higher, remember I mentioned on the weekly, if we do go higher, I'd like to see some type of break. But not only that, we'd have to kind of probably retest some weeklies, come back down, retest some potential new form levels, so as you and then potentially go back up. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be looking at. But for right now, I'm still bear on Euro USD. Again, intraday is pretty simple if you know how to. Of course, contextualize the higher time frame. So it's an easy short. I have a 4-hour pin bar up here. Intraday caught that down. Again, you can catch me in the day trading room every day. I trade this live in front of an audience. Okay, so far today we may have a bearish engulfing, not closed yet, but we're still working on that 122.60, 122.70 where we have these weekly lows. They're kind of forming the lows for the pin bar rejection wick price points. Okay, so as far as the weekly, if you were just looking at the weekly, this is a bear play, or aka a short sell market play. All right, and we do have a daily engulfing that's pretty much coming in. Okay, but as you can see, like I mentioned real quick, I understand this. So first break, typically for day trading, you know, I started to scale in longs. I actually caught 46 longs and just scaling out. I don't recommend doing that unless you have high experience. But I've been pretty much shorting this whole thing from here to here in the 60-minute time frame. Okay, and then just started to bounce reversal trade, just taking a quick bounce. Okay, I'm not looking for this thing to come back up. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I realize that this trend is counter trend. Okay, and I talk about that in my room all the time because I base everything on the higher time frames. Okay, let me go to the yen real quick. Probably spent a little bit more time than I wanted to already on the euro, but it's just the way I am. When I get going, I flow. So hopefully that made sense. Make sure you're paying attention to the weekly bars on Euro USD. Okay, day trading. There's good day trading opportunities still. And again, if you're looking for a swing, you know, obviously weekly bars would suggest lower. And if you are looking for that long, for me, for my style, I'm looking for a break, retest, and then another rally up. Okay, UJ. This is actually going to be a little bit quicker because the UJ is dead range. Okay, and not much has changed since the last video, so I probably could probably get away with not even going to the monthly chart. Okay, although the monthly pricing, at least for me, my style, looking at monthly and weekly higher time frame analysis, always quarterly, breaking it down, etc., from always the higher time frame to the lower time frame, it's still being controlled by monthly handles of 105.50 and 107.50 for me. Okay, these arrows represent that monthly. And again, it's in the prior video, so don't need to go too deep, okay? There goes a monthly retest, all right? It's being held as some type of temporary bottom for now. The trend is still down in the UJ if you're just looking at the more current trend, but we're just, as you can see, okay, these charts are killing me right now. All right, but as you can see, 105.50, 107.50, okay, still we're inside. This is the fourth week inside of this weekly bar structure. So I'm not going to waste any more time here. Next week, on the final week of the monthly for March, I will take a peek at the monthly bar. For right now, this video is already going. Long story short with this, it's just a range on the monthly, and for the month of March, it's just been very back and forth between those two handles of 750 and 550 lower down here, 750 up there. Okay, as you see, I have range expected. Obviously downtrend, potential squeeze to the upside, so just be careful because if we start to break up, we might be able to squeeze some short squeezes out here out of this range. Okay, but we'll see if we can get a monthly push for the end of the month. So these are my notes for basically that's been here for the past week and a half, give or take. All right, so I'm looking for a potential monthly push lower. Obviously, the path of least resistance is down, but of course, I have to respect this kind of monthly handle pricing from here to here. So anyways, what I am in right now, because there's no reason for me to go further on UJ, it's just our dead range. You're just going to have to really pay attention to your daily bar closings, all right? Because even the weekly bar, we need something to kind of happen as the mother bar is just still remaining inside. The weekly has a bar structure that we have not broke, higher or lower, Okay, so now it's just kind of getting crazy here, but the market is just doing what it does. It's just finding a little bit of a range for the next move, and that's that. So intraday, I'm a little bit accumulating here. I already took a series of profits on this. Okay, so I've been getting long, taking profit, and I'm just accumulating long. I'm actually looking, because of the way we broke above this 106.40, which was used as a daily doji in mid February. Okay, and we are kind of wicking down here. I'm going for a little bit of a bigger trade, I guess I should say, for a little bit of a tiny swing to kind of fill this space up to 106.75. So it's still pretty early, I guess. It's only 1 p.m. Eastern, I guess, New York City time, and this is just sideways basing, and we could potentially get a rally up. I'm going to be looking for 106.75, which is just retesting a daily high from 314. So last week. All right, and then of course I have last high here and all these levels up here, which you can clearly see to the upside. But as you can see, this kind of orange box here represents monthly range, so just keep that in mind as I'm taking targets within a range. I'm just trying to go with some kind of daily momentum, but in order for this trade to work, we need to have some momentum to the push to the upside. We're kind of getting what looks to see a base for now, and I've been accumulating in this base. And again, if we get a break, great. I'm taking profits up here. If we don't, then I'm going to just probably be reducing my exposure lower down here. I do have a little bit of what I call a T1E setup down here, being met with a little bit of a trend line here for this week so far. But again, that could change. Another thing about today and this week is tomorrow in the United States, US, we have 2 p.m. Eastern, we have FOMC. So just keep that in mind as well. Maybe rewatch the video once or twice. Just make sure that you have your higher time frames zoned out. And these charts can look completely different via smaller time frame and higher time frame once that Fed news comes out. But I'm not going to get into that. Okay, I'm more of a technical trader. Of course, I'm going to be tuned into what is happening. But as far as right now, these trades could just be already hit or done, and tomorrow's a new day anyways. And again, if you are interested in anything that I do in here, I do trade these setups live every day, Monday to Friday. Visit taylortrader.com. Eric here. Take care. Trade safe. Tomorrow's FOMC.